Privacy is one of the most powerful tools a person can have in life. When you keep certain aspects of your life to yourself, you maintain control over your personal narrative and how others perceive you. People naturally make judgments based on the information they have, and the more details you reveal, the more material they have to form opinions, whether positive or negative. When you limit what others know, you avoid unnecessary scrutiny, criticism, or assumptions that could impact your relationships, career, or reputation. Privacy allows you to protect your ambitions, ideas, and emotions from those who might not have your best interests at heart. Moreover, in a world where personal information is constantly being shared online and offline, the ability to maintain a level of discretion gives you a strategic advantage. When people don't know your weaknesses, struggles, or even your successes, they cannot interfere, sabotage, or manipulate situations to their benefit. It becomes harder for others to take advantage of you when they have no insight into your vulnerabilities. Some individuals may pretend to support you but secretly envy your progress. If they have access to details about your personal life, they may use that knowledge against you in ways you never anticipated. Another advantage of keeping your personal affairs private is that it gives you the freedom to change, grow, and evolve without external pressure. If you share your plans and aspirations with too many people, you open yourself up to unsolicited advice, criticism, or even discouragement from those who may not fully understand your vision. Some people will impose their limitations and fears onto you, making you question your own path. When you guard your personal goals and keep your next move undisclosed, you remain in control of your own decisions without unnecessary outside influence. Keeping certain things private also helps you avoid unnecessary conflicts and misunderstandings. When people know too much about your personal struggles, relationships, finances, or career moves, they might misinterpret situations, spread misinformation, or offer unwanted opinions that create tension. The less people know, the less they can interfere or create unnecessary drama. When you maintain privacy, you can focus on what truly matters without distractions caused by gossip, assumptions, or unsolicited judgments. Additionally, privacy preserves your sense of independence and self-respect. When you constantly share your personal life with others, you become dependent on external validation, approval, or sympathy. This can make you vulnerable to manipulation, where others use your own information to influence your decisions or emotions. When you keep things to yourself, you develop emotional resilience and self-reliance. You become the master of your own emotions and choices without feeling the need to explain yourself or seek validation from others. Not everyone you meet in life will have good intentions, no matter how kind or friendly they may seem on the surface. It is natural to want to trust people, to believe that those around you are supportive and genuinely wish the best for you. However, the reality is that not everyone operates with pure motives. Some people are driven by jealousy, insecurity, competition, or even hidden agendas. And when they gain access to personal information about you, they may use it in ways that you never intended or anticipated. This is why being selective about what you share and with whom you share it is crucial in protecting yourself from potential harm, whether emotional, financial, or even professional. One of the biggest risks of sharing too much personal information is that it can be used as a weapon against you. When people know your weaknesses, struggles, fears, or even your ambitions, they have leverage over you. They can manipulate situations, use your vulnerabilities to control you, or sabotage your progress in subtle ways. For instance, in a workplace setting, revealing too much about your personal life or your future career plans to the wrong colleague can lead to office politics, rumors, or even someone else taking credit for your ideas. In personal relationships, sharing intimate details with someone who does not truly have your best interests at heart can lead to betrayal, gossip, or even emotional blackmail. Some people thrive on the downfall of others, and they will not hesitate to exploit any information they have to bring someone down. They may not show their true colors immediately. Instead, they will pretend to be trustworthy, gain your confidence, and patiently wait for the right moment to use what they know against you. This can manifest in many ways. Someone you consider a friend may secretly envy you, and rather than openly expressing their feelings, they may subtly discourage you, plant seeds of doubt, or spread misinformation about you to others. Because they know personal details about your life, their words may carry more weight, making it harder for you to defend yourself when faced with misunderstandings or rumors. There are also people who simply enjoy spreading gossip. They might not necessarily wish you harm, but their need for attention or social currency makes them unreliable when it comes to keeping things confidential. The moment you share something private with them, it becomes a topic of discussion among others. Before you know it, personal details about your life, your family, your financial status, or your relationships become public knowledge. This can create unnecessary complications, misunderstandings, and even conflicts that could have been avoided had you maintained your privacy in the first place. Another significant danger of sharing too much is that it can make you an easy target for opportunists. There are individuals who only associate with others for personal gain, and if they see that you are generous, successful, or well-connected, they may pretend to be your friend just to take advantage of you. They will appear supportive and interested in your life, but their true motive is to extract whatever benefit they can get from knowing you. This could be financial support, access to your professional network, or even using your reputation to elevate themselves. The moment they have taken what they need, they will disappear, leaving you feeling betrayed and used. Some people also harbor hidden resentment or bitterness, and they may secretly hope to see you fail. When they have insight into your personal struggles, setbacks, or insecurities, it gives them a sense of power. They may not openly express negativity, but they will quietly take satisfaction in your hardships, and some may even go as far as subtly influencing situations to make things harder for you. By limiting the amount of information you share, you deny such individuals the ability to feed their negative intentions. The internet and social media have made oversharing an even greater risk. Many people post details about their personal lives without considering the potential consequences. Strangers, acquaintances, or even people who pretend to be supporters can use this information for malicious purposes. Something as simple as sharing your location, financial success, relationship status, or family issues online can make you vulnerable to scammers, thieves, stalkers, or those who simply wish to see you struggle. The more you expose about yourself, the easier it becomes for the wrong people to find ways to exploit that information. It is important to understand that trust should be earned, not freely given to just anyone who seems friendly or interested in your life. People reveal their true intentions over time, and rushing to share personal details with someone who has not yet proven their loyalty can lead to regret. The more private you are, the more control you have over your own life, and the less likely you are to fall victim to those who do not truly have your best interests at heart. When you are selective about what you share with others, you create an air of mystery that naturally draws people toward you. Human curiosity is a powerful force, and when people feel like they do not fully understand you, they become more intrigued. There is something compelling about individuals who do not lay everything about themselves out for the world to see. They stand apart from those who constantly seek validation and attention by oversharing personal details. Instead of appearing desperate for approval, they exude confidence and self-sufficiency, which in turn earns them more respect. In both personal and professional settings, mystery can be a form of strength. When you reveal too much, you give people the ability to form conclusions about you, whether accurate or not. The more information they have, the more they can judge, criticize, or assume things about your character, your decisions, or your future. But when you keep certain aspects of your life private, you prevent others from having a complete picture of who you are, which makes them more cautious in how they approach you. They are left wondering what you're thinking, what your next move will be, and what lies beneath the surface of what little they do know. This sense of uncertainty makes them respect you more, because they recognize that you are not easily predictable or easily influenced. When people know too much about you, they begin to take you for granted. They feel like they have you figured out, and as a result, they may stop appreciating your depth and complexity. However, when they are always slightly unsure of your thoughts, feelings, or plans, they remain engaged and interested. They cannot afford to dismiss you because they do not fully understand you. This sense of unpredictability commands attention, and people naturally treat you with more curiosity and admiration because they cannot completely anticipate what you will do or say next. Moreover, maintaining a sense of mystery protects you from being easily controlled or manipulated. When others know every detail about your emotions, goals, or insecurities, they can use that knowledge to their advantage. They might try to influence your decisions, exploit your weaknesses, or even imitate your ambitions in an attempt to get ahead of you. But when they only have fragments of information, they cannot predict your actions or strategize against you. This gives you the upper hand in many situations because you remain in control of your own narrative, rather than allowing others to define you based on what they think they know. In relationships, whether romantic, professional, or social, maintaining a level of mystery keeps interactions more dynamic and engaging. People lose interest quickly when everything about a person is easily accessible and predictable. If someone knows your entire life story, your struggles, your successes, and your future plans within a short period of time, they may lose the excitement of discovery. But when they feel like there is always something more to learn about you, they remain intrigued. This creates deeper, more meaningful connections because it encourages people to invest more time and effort in truly getting to know you rather than making quick judgments based on surface-level information. Additionally, mystery allows you to control your own reputation. If you openly share everything about yourself, you give others the power to spread information, whether true or distorted. Once information is out in the open, you can no longer control how people interpret it or how they use it. But when you are careful about what you share and how much you reveal, you manage how you are perceived. You decide what aspects of yourself others get to see, ensuring that your image remains one of strength, confidence, and independence, rather than one that is easily dissected and picked apart. This principle applies not only to personal interactions, but also to the professional world. Leaders, entrepreneurs, and successful individuals often maintain an element of mystery because it keeps people guessing and prevents competitors from fully understanding their strategies. If a business person openly shares all their ideas, weaknesses, and future plans, it becomes easier for competitors to take advantage of that knowledge. But when they are strategic about what they reveal, and when they reveal it, they keep their competitors on edge, always uncertain of what move they will make next. This same concept applies to personal success. When people do not know everything about your plans, they cannot interfere, sabotage, or imitate them. Furthermore, mystery enhances personal confidence. When you no longer feel the need to constantly explain yourself or prove yourself to others, you develop a stronger sense of self-worth. You become comfortable with the idea that not everyone needs to know everything about you, and you no longer seek external validation to feel secure. This kind of self-assurance naturally earns respect from others because people are drawn to those who seem content and in control of their own lives without needing constant approval. Even in conflicts or difficult situations, mystery gives you an advantage. When others are unsure of how you feel, what you know, or what you are planning, they become more cautious in how they treat you. If you react too openly in every situation, people will learn how to push your buttons, manipulate your emotions, or take advantage of your predictability. But if you maintain a level of emotional control and do not let people see your every thought and reaction, you become harder to read and harder to exploit. A mysterious presence does not mean being completely closed off or secretive about everything, but it does mean being intentional about what you reveal and to whom. It means choosing carefully what information to share based on trust, necessity, and personal boundaries. By embracing the power of mystery, you create a sense of respect, intrigue, and control over your own life that allows you to navigate relationships, careers, and social interactions with confidence and wisdom. When you share too much personal information, you make it easier for others to use that knowledge against you in ways you may not have anticipated. People are not always as trustworthy as they seem, and even those who appear to have good intentions can sometimes turn against you when circumstances change. Personal information, once revealed, cannot be taken back, and once someone knows something significant about you, They hold power over you in subtle or direct ways. This is why it is crucial to be mindful of what you share and with whom you share it, because not everyone is capable of handling your personal details with respect and confidentiality. One of the most common ways personal information can be used against you is through manipulation. When people know your weaknesses, fears, or emotional triggers, they can exploit them to their advantage. In personal relationships, for example, someone who knows your insecurities may use them to control your decisions or make you feel guilty in situations where you have done nothing wrong. They might bring up past mistakes or personal struggles in an argument to weaken your confidence and assert dominance over you. In the workplace, colleagues who know your vulnerabilities might use them to gain an upper hand in competition for promotions or projects. They may subtly highlight your weaknesses to superiors while keeping their own flaws hidden, making themselves look better by comparison. Gossip is another major risk when you share too much about yourself. People love to talk, and when they have access to personal details about your life, they often cannot resist the temptation to share them with others, whether intentionally or unintentionally. A harmless conversation where you open up about your struggles, relationships, or financial situation can quickly turn into a topic of discussion among multiple people, often with exaggerated or distorted details. By the time you realize what has happened, your private matters have become public knowledge, and you may find yourself having to explain or defend things that were never meant to be discussed outside of a trusted conversation. This kind of exposure can be especially damaging in professional environments where your reputation is at stake, and in social circles where misunderstandings can lead to conflict and broken relationships. People can also use your personal information to undermine your credibility and reputation. If you have shared something in confidence with someone who later turns against you, they may use what they know to discredit you in front of others. A competitor at work, for example, may spread details about your personal struggles to create doubt about your ability to handle responsibilities. In social situations, someone with a hidden agenda may use private information about you to damage your relationships with others, making you look bad while positioning themselves in a more favorable light. This kind of betrayal is painful, especially when it comes from someone you once trusted, but it serves as a reminder that the more people know about you, the more opportunities they have to use that knowledge in ways that are not in your best interest. Another risk of oversharing is that it can make you a target for people with ulterior motives. There are individuals who look for ways to take advantage of others, whether financially, emotionally, or socially. If you openly share details about your financial status, for instance, you may attract people who pretend to befriend you just to benefit from your resources. They may manipulate you into lending them money, investing in their ideas, or providing favors that they would not ask of someone they know less about. In relationships, someone who knows too much about your past experiences, traumas, or emotional struggles may use that knowledge to gain control over you, making you feel indebted to them or dependent on their validation. Even online, the dangers of sharing too much personal information are significant. With social media, people often reveal details about their lives without considering the consequences. Posting about your location, your financial status, your relationships, or your private struggles can expose you to risks such as identity theft, cyberstalking, or targeted scams. Hackers and scammers often look for small bits of personal information that they can piece together to gain access to sensitive accounts, impersonate you, or deceive you in ways that can have serious consequences. The more you reveal, the easier it is for them to exploit you. In addition, when people know too much about your plans, dreams, or ambitions, they may subconsciously or intentionally sabotage your progress. Some individuals do not want to see others succeed, and if they have insight into what you are working toward, they may try to discourage you, create obstacles, or even steal your ideas. It is not uncommon for someone to pretend to support you while secretly hoping for your failure. If they know the steps you are taking toward your goals, they might interfere in subtle ways, spreading negativity, questioning your abilities, or influencing others to doubt you. By keeping your aspirations and strategies private until you have achieved them, you protect yourself from unnecessary opposition and ensure that your success is driven by your own efforts rather than shaped by outside influences. Even in legal or financial matters, sharing too much can backfire. If you openly discuss your assets, investments, or business dealings with the wrong people, you may attract unwanted attention from those who seek to take advantage of your financial position. Lawsuits, disputes, and fraudulent schemes often target individuals who have made their personal and financial situations too widely known. The less people know about your financial standing, the less likely you are to be approached with manipulative offers, scams, or unfair expectations. There is also the psychological aspect of oversharing to consider. When you tell too many people about your personal life, you give them the power to shape your perception of yourself. If multiple people are aware of your challenges, struggles, or personal flaws, they may remind you of them constantly, reinforcing negative feelings and making it harder for you to move forward. Sometimes people do not allow others to grow beyond their past mistakes or hardships, and if they have too much insight into your personal history, they may define you by it, even when you have long since evolved. Keeping certain aspects of your life private allows you to move forward without being constantly reminded of the parts of your past that you have worked hard to overcome. Another important aspect to consider is that people change and relationships shift over time. Someone you trust today may not be in your life a year from now. And when that happens, any information they have about you remains with them, potentially in the hands of someone who no longer has your best interests in mind. Friendships fall apart, colleagues turn into competitors, and acquaintances you once felt comfortable around may become distant or even adversarial. If they have access to private details about your life, they may use that information in ways that are harmful or unfavorable to you. This is why it is wise to be cautious with what you share, ensuring that even if circumstances change, your personal information cannot be used against you. Being private does not mean being secretive or distrusting everyone. It simply means being intentional about what you reveal and understanding that not all information needs to be shared with everyone. Some things are best kept to yourself, not because you have anything to hide, but because protecting your personal details is a form of self-respect and self-preservation. The less people know about your struggles, weaknesses, and personal affairs, the less power they have to use that information in ways that could negatively impact your life. Protecting your peace and mental well-being is one of the most important reasons to keep personal details about your life private. In a world where people constantly seek information, opinions, and validation, maintaining a level of privacy can serve as a powerful shield against unnecessary stress, drama, and negativity. When you share too much, you expose yourself to external influences that can disturb your inner peace, affect your emotions, and even shape the way you see yourself. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, struggles, or personal experiences, and by being selective with what you share, you create a safe space where your mind can remain clear, focused, and free from unnecessary distractions. One of the greatest threats to inner peace is external judgment. When people know too much about your life, they often feel entitled to have an opinion on it. They may criticize your choices, question your decisions, or offer unsolicited advice that only serves to create doubt and confusion. Even when you are confident in your path, constant input from others can make you second-guess yourself, leading to stress and self-doubt. The more people know about your relationships, financial situation, personal struggles, or goals, the more opinions they will have, and not all of those opinions will be supportive or helpful. Some will be rooted in jealousy, ignorance, or personal bias. And if you allow too many voices to influence you, it becomes difficult to stay true to yourself and your own beliefs. Oversharing also opens the door to unnecessary conflicts. When too many people are involved in your personal life, misunderstandings and drama become almost inevitable. Something you say in confidence to one person may be misinterpreted or twisted when repeated to another, leading to unnecessary disputes. When details about your life are widely known, people may start making assumptions, forming opinions based on incomplete information, or even spreading gossip. You may find yourself having to defend or explain things that should never have been anyone else's concern in the first place. By keeping certain aspects of your life private, you significantly reduce the chances of being caught in unnecessary drama or having to deal with conflicts that drain your energy and peace of mind. Another major factor that disrupts inner peace is the emotional burden of constantly having to update and inform others about your life. When you share too much with people, they expect continuous updates, whether consciously or unconsciously. They may feel entitled to know how things are progressing in your life, whether you are succeeding or facing setbacks. And they may even feel disappointed or offended if you choose not to share something new with them. This creates an unnecessary sense of obligation, where you feel pressured to explain your actions, decisions, and progress to people who should not have that level of access to your personal journey. When you maintain privacy, you free yourself from the exhausting need to constantly report your life to others and instead focus on living it according to your own pace and priorities. Privacy also serves as a protective barrier against negativity. Not everyone who hears about your success or happiness will genuinely be happy for you. Some people, whether out of jealousy, insecurity, or their own dissatisfaction with life, may secretly hope to see you struggle. They may smile in your face but harbor negative feelings towards you behind closed doors. If they are aware of your personal struggles, they may take quiet satisfaction in your difficulties, and if they know about your achievements, they may downplay them, dismiss them, or try to make you feel undeserving. By keeping certain things to yourself, you shield yourself from the silent negativity that often comes from those who do not truly have your best interests at heart. In addition to shielding yourself from negativity, privacy allows you to maintain a sense of control over your emotional well-being. When you keep your personal matters to yourself, you choose when and how to process emotions without external influence. You are not forced to explain your feelings, justify your reactions, or seek validation from others. You can take time to reflect, heal, and grow at your own pace without interference. Many people do not realize how much their emotions are affected by the reactions and opinions of others until they start keeping things to themselves. The moment you stop seeking external validation for every decision or emotional experience, you begin to experience a profound sense of peace and self-acceptance. Another key benefit of maintaining privacy is the ability to move in silence. When people do not know your next steps, they cannot interfere with them. Many times plans fail, not because of lack of effort, but because too many people knew about them and either intentionally or unintentionally created obstacles. Some people will discourage you, plant seeds of doubt, or actively try to prevent you from succeeding simply because they do not want to see you do better than them. By keeping your goals, dreams, and progress private, you ensure that your success is protected from those who might wish to sabotage it. You gain the freedom to work toward your ambitions without pressure, without unnecessary criticism, and without the risk of others meddling in your plans. Privacy also gives you the ability to control your own narrative. When you share too much, you give others the power to define you based on their interpretations of your life. They may categorize you based on your past mistakes, your struggles, or the challenges you have faced. But when you keep certain things to yourself, you allow people to see only what you choose to reveal. This enables you to present yourself in the way that aligns with your true self, rather than allowing others to create a version of you based on fragmented information. On a deeper level, maintaining privacy helps cultivate a sense of personal freedom. When people do not know every detail of your life, you are free to change, evolve, and reinvent yourself without outside interference. You can explore new interests, pursue different opportunities, and grow into new versions of yourself without feeling trapped by the expectations or judgments of others. Too often, people feel stuck in certain roles or identities simply because they have shared too much of themselves with the wrong people, who then hold them accountable to past versions of themselves. By keeping certain things private, you allow yourself the space to grow and transform without limitation. Even in close relationships, maintaining a level of privacy is essential for long-term harmony. While honesty and openness are important, there is a difference between healthy communication and oversharing. Being too transparent about every emotion, fear, or insecurity can sometimes put unnecessary strain on relationships. Not everything needs to be discussed with everyone, and sometimes keeping certain thoughts and experiences to yourself allows you to handle them with clarity before bringing them into your relationships. This prevents unnecessary emotional burdens from being placed on others and helps maintain a sense of balance and independence. Another significant way privacy protects your peace is by minimizing the risk of betrayal. The unfortunate truth is that people change, relationships shift, and loyalty is not always permanent. Someone who is your closest confidant today may not be in your life in the future, and if they know too much about you, that information remains with them, potentially in the hands of someone who no longer has your best interests in mind. When you are cautious about what you share, you reduce the chances of experiencing the pain of betrayal, because there will be fewer sensitive details for others to use against you in the future. There is immense power in silence and discretion. When you do not reveal everything about yourself, you retain control over your life and your emotions. You are not constantly defending yourself, explaining yourself, or dealing with unnecessary opinions. You are free to make decisions based on your own values and beliefs, rather than being influenced by external pressure. Privacy gives you the mental space to focus on what truly matters, without distractions from those who do not need to be involved in your journey. It allows you to live with a sense of inner calm, knowing that your life is not an open book for others to dissect, judge, or interfere with. In a world where information is easily shared and opinions are freely given, protecting your privacy is not just a choice, it is a necessity. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, struggles, plans, or personal experiences. The more you reveal, the more you open yourself up to judgment, manipulation, and unnecessary negativity. Keeping certain aspects of your life private does not mean you are hiding anything. It means you are safeguarding your peace, protecting your energy, and maintaining control over your own narrative. Silence and discretion are powerful tools that allow you to move forward without interference, grow without limitations, and make decisions without external pressure. When you choose to be selective with what you share and with whom you share it, you are not only protecting yourself from betrayal and gossip, but also preserving your inner peace and emotional well-being. At the end of the day, your life is yours alone. You do not owe the world an explanation for your choices, your struggles, or your journey. By keeping certain things private, you create a strong foundation for success, happiness, and personal freedom. So be mindful of what you share, value your privacy, and remember that sometimes the less people know about you, the better.